Yo, what's up out there, YouTube? It's SEL0320 representing JVS. I've got some awesome YouTubers that are part of this awesome group that we call the Pod and Tube Journals, and we're just going to be kind of riffing. We're going to be talking about some things, and hopefully y'all enjoy just the dynamics between other YouTubers in this lifestyle. I've got right here Anthony Rodriguez. I got my man from the Normies, Chris. What's going on, you guys?
What up? What up?
Chill, man.
Dude, just another day in the life, bro.
Oh yeah. Shout outs to everybody out there for watching. Y'all better like Sam's channel. You better thumbs up it. You better subscribe. Follow this man on all platforms. JVS is this.
He's Mr. Weeseeks. I'm just playing. But yeah, you guys. So how have you guys been? What do you guys want to talk about?
Man.
Yeah, same for me.
Who that?
Hey.
Hi.
Yo, hello. This is Sam from JVS. What's up?
When I'm talking about Sam, this is the guy. This is Sam from JVS.
Okay.
Reaction channel. They're awesome.
Awesome.
And this is Anthony.
Yeah, sorry to take away from you guys' filming time. I know you guys are super busy.
I just came here to hide. I didn't know you were here.
Oh. She says she's here to hide from all the. We're still writing one of the skits in there, and I've contributed as much as I can. And now it just seems that it's going to keep rolling. And I needed a break. I had to get some ice cream and come sit down and holler at y'all for a minute.
Oh
That's
man,
awesome.
I really appreciate it, dude.
So guys, what have you been up to, man?
Real quick, man. I love your guys' sketch of the Game of Thrones with the wall. It was so funny. Yo, I was laughing so hard. I've been good, man. You know, I just been busy. Get more creative ideas, for my channel, and always trying to stay in touch with all these guys over here at the. But just chilling, man. I'm starting to do a whole bunch of theories and videos on the side,
Nice.
For Game of Thrones, because I feel like this, especially for this Sunday, there's a lot of things that are going to be happening for the finale.
Yeah.
Just trying to do.
Yeah.
Hi. We're gonna start filming this.
Okay. Wow. I have to put my costume back on and get back to filming now. I can have 2 minutes? Oh, 2 whole minutes. How merciful. I thought I was going to get to talk to Farewell and Akasan.
Sweet Christmas. Literally, the two Christmas are here.
Christmas. Hey.
Yo, what up, CJ?
Nothing much. Probably go
Damn,
non-video.
you're just-
It's gonna probably lag. Yeah, I'm driving. That's why I was like, let me go non-video and just go audio only, so that way at least I'm concentrate driving and can at least hear me talking. So.
Yeah. So Chris from Normies, he only has maybe 2 minutes. So, Chris, what are you guys doing? I guess anything you want to talk about right now or bring up right now, let us know right now.
I'll give you guys a quick surprise real quick. Let me see real quick. Hey, sir.
Is he gonna get storage? Yo, storage is there. I'm gonna...
Oh. Well, I'll show you one. We come up here real quick. Come up here real quick. We got one of the homies here. Know this gentleman.
Oh God. Do I have to move the camera?
No. You just gotta say. So,
Hey, what's up, dude?
No. I'm talking with some other reactors. So yeah, we're putting in a little work. We had a couple people that were close that could kind of make it. We had a bigger thing planned, but that didn't. We're really just trying to put in a bunch of work for what we were gonna do for that towards all of these skits today.
Nice.
It's gonna be dope. That's what.
That's freaking dope, man. I really wanted to come and see you guys and be able to help with that, but it just didn't work out.
Yeah, it fell apart, man. But I think we got everything in the works that we need to do it for next year, because we need to get all the reactors together for one dope ass thing,
Yeah, we got to, bro. We got to. I'm definitely still down. We just gotta, I guess, plan ahead of time and just kind of schedule it, whatever we're gonna do.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm gonna get out of here, man. I thought it was gonna be longer. They always be like, "Yeah, we got 10 minutes," and they're calling them motherfuckers before it's too late.
It's all good, Chris. You good, bro? Go ahead and put in that work.
All All right, I'm being called. All right, y'all. Peace. Have fun.
All right, later.
All right, later,
Peace out, man.
bro.
I don't know how to turn this off though, so now it's gonna be.
There he is.
That's hilarious.
Oh man.
What's going on, TJ?
Nothing much. Coming from Micro Center, so I'm like driving back. Was actually gonna check out this. I guess they opened a new pizza spot over at Woodmore over there near Wegmans. I was gonna check it out real quick and see what it is, and then go back home after that. So, but yeah, just doing that. And he's supposed to be recording tonight, I think, for our show and stuff. But D is over in Point Lookout, so basically gonna be playing a waiting game and just watching NXT Brooklyn tonight until that happens. So.
Nice. Yeah, honestly, I almost went to Micro Center just a little while ago. I was going and searching Best Buy for an Elgato capture card because I didn't have one.
Micro Center probably has.
So I
Micro
couldn't
Center
find
will
it.
definitely have. Yeah, Micro Center will definitely have it and stuff. They got everything. It's just you have to be tempted not to buy extra shit you don't need, basically.
Exactly.
So.
Like if me and Joe would have went to Micro Center, dude, legit, I would have gotten some other equipment. So I'm glad that I only got the Elgato from Best Buy and got back home.
Yeah, cause I needed a. I actually went up there to get a. I needed a hard drive, a SATA hard drive for my netbook, because my netbook broke a couple of years ago. For some reason, it wasn't working, and I come to find out the hard drive was messed up on it, so I had to get a new hard drive. But now I have to figure out how to properly put Windows on it when it doesn't have a CD drive in it. So yeah, that's gonna be tricky.
I mean, I guess what you can do is get like a cheap external CD-ROM drive. It should be okay.
Yeah, I think I have it. It's just I gotta figure out where to get Windows 8 at and stuff, because that was on the netbook and stuff before it messed up.
True.
So.
True. Like if it does that utility disk, then you have to go and get it from the outside. That's gonna be rough.
Yeah. So hopefully I can find it and stuff. But other than that, that's basically all I got going on right now. I know next week is gonna be a lot of material coming out because the Fenders, and then we gotta do our SummerSlam review and stuff. And
are you gonna do like a Floyd Mayweather and Connor discussion too?
I know me and D, we got a sports show next week, so that's probably something that's gonna have to come up anyway. Because I know that's next weekend, ain't it?
Yeah, it's next Sunday, right, Anthony?
I thought it was Saturday.
Is it Saturday or Sunday? I don't remember.
It was Saturday. Could have sworn.
Anthony, do you know?
But I think it's Saturday because it'd be dumb to have it on a Sunday. I think it's Saturday.
Yeah,
I think
it probably is.
Yeah, it's Saturday and stuff. I don't know. If I see it, it'll probably be at like Buffalo Wild Wings or wherever. I just gotta ask around to see who has to fight and stuff and see what happens. So.
Yeah, like one of our friends is like hosting like a get together and they get it on pay-per-view, so I'm probably just gonna do it that way. But the crazy thing is like this Game of Thrones situation.
Look, man, listen, I like I said, I haven't touched it. The only reason why I am kind of kept abreast of Game of Thrones stuff is because folks are live tweeting it on Twitter. So I kind of have a general idea of what's been going on in Game of Thrones. I just haven't really been actively watching it because there's too many damn shows I like watching. And so it's like, And also because once they took Game of Thrones off Netflix streaming, like back during season 3, I was like, fuck it. I'm not getting HBO Go for Game of Thrones. If I watch it, I watch it. If I don't, I don't. So.
Yeah. Legit, you guys, this is no disclosure, but me and wifey, we literally got HBO just for Game of Thrones. That was the only reason why we got it. And so,
we got HBO Go.
It's like I don't know why we would keep it after that. So we got Xfinity.
Cable.
So we got Xfinity, right?
Yeah.
And so Xfinity, it connects to HBO Go. So because we have HBO on Xfinity, we automatically get on the HBO Go. All we gotta do is just log into it. That's it.
Oh, okay. Shit. Pretty good. Yeah. I know you can get it through if you have
Other
Amazon
than that,
Prime. Yeah, if you have Amazon Prime like me, I have Stars through Amazon Prime. I only pay, I think, $7.99 a month for it and stuff. And I only got it because I was watching Survivor's Remorse and Black Sails and stuff, which I need to catch up on Black Sails. But I was also I got sucked into watching Power, so sue me on that. So I mean,
Yeah, wifey was telling me that it's actually pretty good, but I have not watched it yet.
yeah, it's actually not bad. So you know, I think new episodes end up dropping midnight. Well, technically 3 a.m. But I think it might be midnight East Coast. It drops a new episode on Stars on demand and stuff. I know it premieres if you got cable. It pops up I think 8 o'clock on Sunday. So you know, either which way, you know, people are gonna end up watching it anyway.
Yeah.
But you end up getting. Oh, you said so. If you're getting an El Gato, is like your old capture card like messed up, or you just?
No, I never had one. So like for us to do like live streaming effectively, I knew for a fact that I needed to implement that by moving forward. Like it's just viewing it like this is just there's no control there.
What's the?
And I want to be able to kind of
YouTube
moderate
with
this.
the
Right.
YouTube. Oh,
Yes.
well, you're doing what? YouTube Live, or you actually doing?
I'm doing it through Google Hangouts, and then technically it's YouTube Live, and it's just it's just not.
I mean, there's
what
there's other options in terms of like talking because you got is that me?
I don't think so.
No, it sounds like somebody was jumping in on the call. Nah, but usually I know some people use Crowdcast to actually do their little video stuff on. I don't know how much that is and stuff, but I know some people started using that. But I don't know, Google Hangouts is kind of a hit or miss thing because it's not as easy as it was when Google Plus was still usable.
Mm-hmm.
Man, Google Hangouts is rough, man. The quality is terrible. What you can do is rough, man. Whenever I try to do like these live streams like this, it's always something that's getting affected.
Yeah, it's like with Skype and stuff. Like, I have to use old school Skype because for some reason or another, the new Skype trying to add, like, I think, like, if I do it Monday, I know Joe's going to be on and stuff. I got to use old school Skype because new Skype, for some reason, like, if I call him regular number and I try to add other people, you have to put them into a group and then call on a conference and stuff. Old Skype, you can just add people into your call as it comes anyway. So, yeah, you have to kind of figure all that shit out and stuff. It's weird. But yeah, I managed to get through Defenders over the course of a workday, so that wasn't hard at all.
Dude, I don't know how you did it, bro. Cause I was starting to look at it last night, and I stopped at like 7. I was like, forget it. As soon as I got off work, I couldn't finish it.
Oh, it's 8 episodes, so it goes by pretty quick.
Yeah, it did.
At least to me, anyways. Which honestly is the perfect amount that you need for something like this, anyway.
True. If it had been any longer, it would have been a different feel.
Oh yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, a lot of Netflix series, you need to be at least 10 episodes tops. If you're gonna do that.
Yeah. Right. I know that you guys, Steve Lannister was like, hey, at JVS, man, you know I cheated and watched the episode early. Didn't want to get spoiled. I understand you, bro. Respect, because there's no way of not getting spoiled. Everybody talking about it. It's dangerous out here.
Yeah. Oh, it really sounds like somebody's trying to jump in on the call. This is just me.
Why? Wait, what happened, Steven?
Yeah, it sounds like somebody's trying to jump in on the call. Unless it's just me hearing it. Can you hear me, so? Yeah, I don't hear it.
Yeah, I can still hear you, CJ.
Oh, okay. I don't know. It just sounded like somebody was like trying to jump in on the call. Unless, like I said, unless it's just me or something. Because I know when you muted it, it stopped. Unless, I don't know. Whatever. It's all good.
Yeah, I know that you might hear something in the background because my wife is looking at it.
Oh, okay. That might be what it is. It ain't loud or anything. It's just I
Oh,
kept
and
hearing.
not just that, my air conditioning unit also makes like this whining noise as well. So that might be
Oh,
why.
okay.
Oh, okay. I was like, what's up? Oh man.
But
Yeah, y'all
What
have
do you guys think?
what was you saying, Anthony?
Oh, my bad. I was just saying. I wanted to ask you guys, what do you guys think about the Obi-Wan movie being in development from Lucasfilm?
I didn't think they were
Wait,
actually gonna make it.
Obi-Wan?
Yeah.
I didn't think they were gonna make it.
I didn't think it was
Honestly.
gonna happen either.
That's. I mean,
I
that's the
really
only
didn't
thing
think it was gonna happen
I
either.
could put on there.
Yeah, like I mean, I think that it's an interesting story there. There's a lot of things that they can do with that in between time of episode 3 and 4. It's just I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't know how they're gonna do it. I don't know if they're gonna bring Darth Maul back as this like hybrid.
He's dead.
I don't.
He's officially dead, dog. Like
But
Rebels,
nah,
like
in the
Obi-Wan and him fought off, and he's dead. Like he's done. And Rebels, they actually said Rebels is like canon with the movies and stuff, basically.
no, but I thought that the Obi-Wan movie was taking place in between 3 and 4. Like it predates Rebels. Like it's before Rebels. That's what I thought.
I mean, it's taking place in between that time, but from what I'm hearing, it's like, well, Rebels already fucking resolved the whole Darth Maul and Obi-Wan thing, so it'd be kind of redundant for them to like, oh hey, let's do Darth Maul versus Obi-Wan. I'm like, but you already resolved in the Rebels. They fought in like a 2-minute fight, and then it was done.
Yeah,
I don't know
I
if you
think a
guys saw
more
that episode
important
or not.
thing. I didn't even see it because I haven't caught back up to Rebels. But a more important thing for me is who's going to be the director.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I mean, that's gonna be tough because you can sell people on Rogue One because there is a story there, but Obi-Wan, it's like, okay, so who's the antagonist? Who's the antagonist for Obi-Wan? Is it the Sand People? Is it just the day in the life of Obi-Wan looking after Luke? I don't know. You know.
I mean, they could pull a Logan on us, but I hope they don't. I hope it's something actually really intriguing and force-driven, but I don't really
You don't
know. I
have
mean, they
to. I
could
mean,
be
you'd be
like,
better off doing a freaking Boba Fett movie if you Obi-Wan, honestly.
I mean, I wanted them to do like a Star Killer, honestly. That's what I wanted. I wanted them like force That's what I really wanted.
Oh no, hell no. That was never gonna happen. I mean, like I would say, Boba Fett and the Bounty Hunters would have been a better option than Obi-Wan, personally. But that's just me.
Yeah, didn't they already have like a Boba Fett movie like in place and like they had like a game on the back foot too?
They had a Jango Fett game, which was actually not bad. It was just basically Jango Fett going after bounties and stuff, and I think they said they were going to do a Boba Fett movie and stuff, but I think a lot of the ideas that they had got implemented in the Clone Wars and Rebels series and stuff, in terms of like the Mandalorians and stuff. But I mean, there's still stuff you can mine from that in the first place. I mean, you know.
Yeah,
But like I said, I think the Han Solo movie is going to be kind of telling on what kind of story they can tell.
true.
Yeah.
Because like I said, because Obi-Wan is like, what are you giving me here? Is it a because it can only be a dramatic piece. It's not like Obi-Wan's gonna pop up with a lightsaber. Who's he gonna fight? It's just you got to sell me on what exactly you're doing. You're giving me with Obi-Wan. That's compelling stuff. I mean, unless it's Obi-Wan
Yeah.
versus the Empire, and even then, that's kind of like you just basically retconned what happened in the prequels, basically, because the Empire doesn't know
Exactly.
where Obi-Wan is.
No, they don't. That's actually a really good point. Anthony, what did you think?
For me, I don't know the lore of like Star Wars. I don't watch Rebels. I don't watch Clone Wars. But if they're gonna get someone to direct the Obi-Wan movie, I would love like just someone like Jon Favreau, who did Jungle Book and Iron Man. And only thing that will make me excited is if they actually back as Obi-Wan, because he was probably one of the best parts about the prequels. So I think that Obi-Wan still is something that I would love to see what he's at the age where would be in that like time period, that those years between episode 4 and episode 3, I think that especially if you see the Jeremy Johns review about what he thinks the story should be, something like
Yeah.
Castaway meets like a Western type of environment, and you could bring in I forgot her name, Ahsoka Tano, I think is that her name.
Ahsoka.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ahsoka. Yeah.
You could introduce her into the Obi-Wan movie. Maybe that Obi-Wan had a love interest, and see Obi-Wan losing his faith in the Force because of what that did to Anakin, and how that has kind of like his perspective on the world. See how like I want it to be a character-driven story, but it depends on who they get as a director, because Lucasfilm really has been kind of like not iffy on their directors, but like in the spin-offs, especially what happened with Gareth, Rogue One, and now Phil Lord and Miller, and now Ron Howard being on the Han Solo movie. I'm hoping that they get someone that creative vision that Lucasfilm won't like take the safe route. You know what I mean? So that they could tell the story how it should be. And if you read like canon novels of Obi-Wan, they could explore a lot of things relating to. And I actually think Obi-Wan might have a cameo in. I think that's how they're gonna set up.
You think so?
Because it would make the most sense. Because I think so. Because you hear his voice in Episode 7.
Yeah.
Vision. So it would make a lot of sense to see a Force ghost, talking to Rey or talking to Luke. That would be so cool.
Yeah, I mean,
and it would like Han Solo died. With that, a Han Solo spin-off movie. So I feel like they're gonna do something
that takes place like, hey, how did Han Solo meet up with Lando and stuff? Which, I mean, that's an interesting story. I know some people made jokes about that, but I'm like, it's kind of an interesting story to actually do, because we just know implyingly that, oh yeah, he beat Lando in a game to win the Millennium Falcon. Okay, cool, but I like to see their camaraderie. Like, how did they become friends, and what was Han Solo getting into to piss off the Empire? Things like that. That's always cool.
No, that's real.
Yeah, but like
because the Han Solo movie is, the Han Solo movie is something that is going to be something that's going to determine a lot of things, because a lot of people were kind of critical about why do we need a Han Solo movie. It's the fun of his backstory, but I think there's certain things that they can do that will make fans be like, oh wow, I would have never thought of that. And considering that it's Lawrence Kasdan writing the script for Han Solo, who wrote Empire Strikes Back, then that's going to give it more feel, considering it's someone who understands the character, which is why I hope they get someone who understands Obi-Wan, not someone who's like, oh, I'm just a writer who's just paid to write a script for Lucasfilm. Someone who understands the canon, because that's the thing about Lucasfilm that sucks too, is some of the directors, they have this kind of like writer's jail because of all the canon and all the TV shows that when they have an idea and they can't do it because it's not canon, so that might interfere with the continuity of movies. So it's challenging for sure.
Well, I think it's challenging enough because I mean, they're also kind of taking stuff from the books. That's why I was like, that's kind of what made Rebels such a good thing, is because in my head when I watched Rebels, I'm like, okay, so how is this tying into the movies and stuff? And the guy that was writing the actual Rebels was like, well, yeah, it ties into the movies, and clearly, Ezra and Homeboy, something's going to happen to them where either A, exile is going to happen, or B, somebody's going to get killed. Because that would make Ezra like, okay, so Luke was the only Jedi. Like, so something's going to happen between those two. Because he even told people, like, hey, look, I understand you see these two Jedi here, but I'm plotting this whole thing out to where they'll either die or they'll just be exiled, and they'll just, maybe they'll pop up in the movies. Maybe. We don't know. We'll see how it goes. Like, he was being very kind of cryptic about it, but I'm like, I kind of figured that was going to happen anyway, because that's what they did in Clone Wars, when I was all like, one of the clones found out about the shit with the Empire and then putting implants in their head to kill Jedi and stuff. And that was a plot point from the last season, that last season of Clone Wars, and I was like, huh, how are they gonna play this? And I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Okay, cool. You tied it up. All right, cool. I get it. I'm fine with this, you know. So we'll see. Like I said, I feel a Han Solo movie though, it does give them kind of a lot of leeway to where their hands isn't tied to series canon. They'll hit the beats that we know of you know, Han. Oh, Han won the Millennium Falcon, cool. But everything else, they can kind of just do whatever they want, and then it's not going to take away from the lore of Han Solo. So I think they have a little bit more leeway. Obi-Wan is going to be tricky because you have to you don't want to do anything that's going to mess up what we already know of Obi-Wan when we see him in Episode 4. That's the only tricky part with Obi-Wan.
The only part about that though that could not mess this up, but it could either be good or bad, is if Obi-Wan is related to Rey. If he ends up being related to Rey, that changes the whole dynamic of all of it.
Yeah,
because then you're like, okay, you're definite. Nah, go ahead. What you think?
Oh yeah, they implied as much, like Homegirl and Rebels. That's a Mandalorian. They kind of allude that maybe Obi-Wan could be her father, because Obi-Wan had a relationship at one point. Well, not a relationship, but he was crushing on this one Mandalorian chick, and you know, you find out later on she has a daughter, and it's like, okay, so who's the father? You know, we don't know, and they kind of it's more so fan theory and stuff, because you know we never see her father and stuff, but they kind of imply, hey, that could be Obi-Wan's kid in some way, shape, or form. We don't know. So, but I mean, Obi-Wan being, I mean, there's a lot of ways they can go about this, though.
I actually think that related to Obi-Wan, she would be his granddaughter, because remember, Obi-Wan dies in A New Hope. That's like 36 years. Rey is like 20 years old from what J.J. Abrams is saying. So it would, how could Obi-Wan, you know, have a kid, and this child, like Rey is at the age that she would be. But I always had the theory where, what if Obi-Wan did have a kid, and then he had a daughter, and then that daughter married Luke, and then they had a Rey. You know, that's just something I always thought of. But with Obi-Wan, maybe he had like a distant. It's possible for sure, but Obi-Wan's like straight up daughter, I don't think that's possible, especially like the continuity doesn't make any old, and Kylo Ren is supposed to be 10 years older than her. He's, you know, Leia and Han's kid. So like, and they would have gotten together right after Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, I mean, she's a granddaughter. That granddaughter is a good theory, though. That would make a lot more sense.
Yeah, it would, and it would make sense why the parents probably had to try to exile themselves to keep her safe.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, this is so much going on. Like, I just finished The Defenders. I don't know how y'all thought about it. I actually really enjoyed it. More than I thought it would.
It's actually really good. I mean, like I said, 8 episodes. I really feel if it was anything longer than 8 episodes, I feel it would have been kind of meandering a lot, which I feel every Netflix show from here on out should be just 10 episodes tops. I feel 13 is too much. You know, at first I wasn't a believer of it and stuff, but like really thinking back on it and stuff, I felt Luke Cage could have been very tightly plotted at 10 episodes. You know, I felt Jessica Jones could have been tightly plotted at 10 episodes, thinking back on it and stuff. And I don't think it would have necessarily eliminated any like major plot points and stuff. It would probably advance stuff a little bit quicker than normal, but it wouldn't have hurt it and stuff. So when I look at you know, Defenders, I'm like, 8 episodes is good, because any longer you would have had a lot of just unnecessary stuff. Things would have dragged, and you got enough information to where it progressed all the characters. Because again, this show Defenders actually is structured like an actual comic book, where it's an event. You have all the major players together, and now you're like, okay, so now that this is over, how is this affected? And like I said, it was it kind of came off like Iron Fist season 1.5.
Yes, it did.
I can see that.
Better
main
writers.
role in the show. Yeah, you're right.
I mean, better writers. He actually can fight. I mean, he brought it. Like he clearly got a lot of time to really practice and get up to snuff on where he needs to be. I mean, Daredevil still got him, but there's improvement, and I hope whoever they get. I mean, I forgot who they got for Iron Fist season 2 as like the showrunner. Um, but hopefully they get the same fighting choreographers for Daredevil on that because I need that consistency. And
Yeah.
like I said, he's still a little rough around the edges, but it's a bit better. Especially like the one scene. I mean, even though Danny versus Elektra, like I think episode 1, it was a little bit dark and I couldn't tell. When they showed him in that boardroom fighting, I was like, okay, that's like way better than anything in Iron Fist season 1. Like this, okay,
That's
cool.
what I was saying. Like I was sitting there looking at the end fight in the 3rd episode, and I was like, Danny, where was this fighting before? Like, I mean, every episode, I'm watching this man get his butt whooped. You ain't no Iron Fist. You ain't no Immortal. Like, you a wankster. Like, Colleen Wynn brought it better than he did. So it was like when I sat there and watched this, I was like, this is what I've been waiting for. Come on, Danny. That's what I'm talking about. You know,
around the edges, but it's like, yo, this is like way better. All right, cool. I mean, hey, improvement. This is cool, and like I said, even his character. They did ease up on him constantly saying, "I am the immortal Iron Fist," which I was cool with. That is awesome.
So like
I was like,
100 times in the show.
They eased up on it, and Defenders like, hey, and it worked because you had Luke sitting up there saying, "Hey, dude, you don't have to keep saying that. First off, second off, I don't give a shit, and third off, you're white, so let me hit you with this white privilege talk." Which I need a Heroes for Hire show now with those two because that is the dynamic of Danny and Luke in a nutshell.
That's the same thing I was thinking. I was like, don't give me an Iron Fist, season 2. Don't even give me a Luke Cage season 2. Give me a Heroes for Hire show. Like, I legit would rather that be the case. And the thing is about like him getting humbled. He got humbled and checked by everybody. Jessica checked him. Physically checked him. It was just really interesting to see him progress as a character through them forging him. It was like they literally were forging him in the fire. Like, okay, you don't have your family. Stop whining about it. You got somebody here that'll have your back. And nah, you go. What you saying?
It was like, hey, dude, we get it. You're the Iron Fist. You don't have to keep saying that shit. All right, just chill.
Yeah. But
No,
I haven't
real.
done my season 1 review yet. I know you did yours already, Anthony, right?
Yeah, I did. I think I posted it yesterday. It was surprisingly quick how like I at first when season 8 Defenders ended, I was like, dang, I don't know how I feel about this, but I did appreciate Danny Rand getting more and progressing as a character, especially the last episode and what that might set up. Because one of my complaints about Jessica Jones also is that I didn't feel like there was any character development for her, but I thought that there was a good amount of character development from her from like the beginning of Defenders to the end, and how she kind of like has evolved and now, because someone, I forgot what reviewer had a great point that all of these still working by themselves, and it's so hard for them to like work together with other people that it made sense some of the and some of the character motivations that they had to kind of establish in Defenders. But I think that choreography was a little bit iffy, especially episode 3 was probably the best fight of the entire season for me. But the other ones, some of them were kind of like quick edity. In episode 8, when they're like underground, it was a little bit too. It was kind of like repetitive. Because like Iron Fist and Daredevil, their fighting styles are really similar. Like used to it. Like I was like, okay, I get it. You could do that choreography. It wasn't like and they didn't really work together.
I think
The Avengers,
like, hey,
everyone.
I think it's like, hey, we got along well. That's about it. It's not like we didn't get that, that team up in Avengers, like you just said, like the whole thing of like that sequence of like, oh, Iron Man shot the beam on Cap Shield and Hawkeye is doing this, and it's like we don't like in Defenders. The most we get is Luke and Danny. That little thing, which
exactly
was awesome.
when Danny like hides behind him when he's taking all the bullets, stuff like that. I'm like, that's what I want to see. I wanted them to use their powers together to help each other out.
Yeah, but
And
I think that to that point though, like if they had did that and they only met each other for like a week, like I kind of would have been like, I think that they need to leave something for another season. For me personally, I like the way that they kind of work together.
She commented on the time frame because even Matt was like, "Yeah, you know, 2 nights ago when we were at that restaurant." And like she was like, God, it feels like a week went by. And I was like, you know what? I really thought a week went by. I'm not even fucking kidding. It was like, wow, only 3 days?
Yeah,
right, cool.
But the thing is, like, then don't play that horrible music in the last episode when they're all fighting then and make it like, we're all great, the team is together. Did you guys notice that, like, weird, like, rock and roll music that was playing or whatever music that was in the last episode? I was just like, wait, what is this? This is so out of place. Don't make it,
well,
like,
it was weird,
like,
though. Yeah, like you said, like that song that kind of came up was really kind of out of place. It was weird because the episode before, episode 7, when they started to fight, you know, that group of the 3 or 4, like I was like, that to me actually seemed like a better fight. Like throwing stuff at each other and like it seemed like it was just choreographed and, you know, cinematically looked better. Fight.
Yeah, I agree. I would agree with that.
And it was really solid. Oh yeah, go ahead.
One thing, sorry, real quick. There's one thing that this is a bit. Tell me if I'm like overthinking this. It's a little bit nitpicky. Is that in the last episode when Claire joins up with the Defenders when they're like inside the building? I thought that was really weird that Daredevil didn't really acknowledge her, Cage, considering the fact that she like, you know, with his injuries in season 1 and in season 2. I thought that was really weird. You know, it was like there was no moment for them to like, oh, did you know? I don't know that you knew Claire. You know, now she's dating Luke Cage. So I thought that was a weird, like, they never really acknowledged that at all.
I mean, I thought it was kind of like public knowledge.
It's an understandable nitpick. It's an understandable nitpick and stuff because you want that at least 2 sentences where Daredevil's like, oh, hey, Claire, what's up? You know, you and Luke, you know, that's about it. You know,
acknowledge her at all. Like, that was weird.
Well, I mean, I think it would have been even more weird, like, if Luke would have been, like, extra romantic with Claire and then having this conversation with Jessica. Like, I think I understand why they did that from a script standpoint. They wanted to centrally focus on each other, and that was pretty much it.
Yeah.
Because
I gotta be real, though, because there's a there's a thing that I'm thinking that's happening because, you know, Anthony was talking about the character progression for Jessica. I think she needed that resolution with Luke at the end because she never got that. Because Luke is like, hey, you know, they had a little quick scene in the hallway fight. It was like, hey, what's up, Jess? You know, he's like, hey, what's up, Luke? You doing fine? He's like, you know, I'm doing fine. But they needed that like talk in that bar to kind of like, okay, she's not guilty about everything, and things clearly are fine with her and Luke. Which kind of leads me, this is something a lot of people on Twitter, and I've seen a lot of people on social media don't want. They don't want Jess and Luke to come to like get together. And it's like, I felt at the end of that conversation, you know, she dropped the coffee line, which I'm like, so are they alluding to something funny with that? But like, you know, Luke kind of gave her the side eye, like, coffee, it's a little, not right now, you know, not now, you know, let's not do that, you know. Yeah. But she really did need that like talk with Luke, like, hey, everything's fine, it's water under the bridge, it is what it is, you know. And I think that helped her by the end of the show. Like, she actually does care about people to a point now. Now we'll see what they do with her in season 2. You know, hopefully she does open up a little bit more, you know. But I see, hopefully they kind of piggyback off that, because that was actually something that worked for that character.
Yeah, I can't believe we're sitting there. I was gonna actually make a totally separate video about Defenders talk, but I can definitely say that the way that they handled Jessica in this one, I thought that they weren't going to do as much with her character, but they really extended her out. They really showcased how she's grown, especially since season 1. And she was clutch for a lot of the situations. Like, I was really surprised that scene with her and Matt. And like, she had this, you know, real emotional moment talking about his dad. I was like, that's not the Jessica I remember. Like, she's really, ever since she broke away from the stronghold that the Purple Man had on her, she's really started to blossom as an individual and as a hero too. Like she can't shy away from it anymore, and I think it's really good how they're doing it.
Yeah.
And everything.
They were kind of a little inconsistent with their power set a little bit to me, because it's like, okay, she can hold up an elevator, which is dope, but like, I don't know, it was just weird to me. It was like, okay, so is she just as strong as Luke? I'm confused. Like, I just need them to kind of like latch on to what her actual power set is, because it's like she can kill Luke's, wife with a punch and stuff, but it's like, okay, she's punching these dudes. Are they dead? I don't know. I can't tell. Is she holding back? I don't know. It's like, but at least with Luke, he clearly is holding back, so he's just throwing dudes into walls and stuff, and he's probably is pulling his punches a little bit to where it's not non-lethal. It's just Jessica. I wish they showed a little bit consistency in where her power is and stuff, because it's kind of like all over the place and stuff.
Yeah, they definitely they had a good line with Stick, where Stick was like, "Look, there's gonna be a time and point where you gotta stop, holding back. You need to really defend your situation." And I think that goes for all of them. I think one of the best lines in the Justice League trailer that I heard is that at some point in time, we've all kind of held back. Mm-hmm. That's the case for all of them. Like, all of them have the potential of killing very well, like all of them, and they just don't. And I think that with Jessica specifically, I actually like the fact that we don't know what her real potential is. We don't know that, okay, what can she really truly do, kind of thing. They could have showcased it in this one, but then it would have been more like focused on Jessica. They try to keep this, self-contained. And I think they did a good job containing it. It's just like, by the time we get a second season, I think it's going to be pretty lit to build on.
You know what? I low-key think, as much as people loathe the aspect of like Netflix and then the movies not really connecting and stuff, I think for right now, we're going to progress to that point to where they both kind of basically meld together. But I think, like I said, I keep going back to how comic books are. A lot of the street level heroes, they don't recognize some of the larger things that the Avengers are doing. Like, if you read a Daredevil book, even like during the Shadowland thing, for instance, Avengers jumped in that series. Like, at most you had Cap and Iron Man looking at Danny like, "Hey, dude, get your boy."
Yeah.
But other than that, nobody, like, none of the Avengers was jumping in to help out on street level stuff. And I was like, yeah, you have to kind of apply that logic with the Netflix series, because I know some people be like, well, where's Captain America during this thing with the hand? I'm like, he isn't going to do that. That's not his thing. Same with Iron Man, same with Hawkeye. You can probably, maybe you can make the case for Hawkeye, but even then, it's kind of like, Hawkeye's not going to really fuck with New York like that. He ain't going to really do that. That's not his thing. Same with Black Widow, same with Hulk and all them. So you have to kind of apply that logic to, well, this is the Defenders. They're taking care of the hand situation and stuff, and that's just what it is. I mean, even actually, this whole storyline, it did remind me of story plot point that they did in Brubaker's Immortal Iron Fist, where this businessman was trying to literally get to the actual Kunlun city. And that's basically what the Defenders was. He was trying to get to the Kunlun city and stuff because of, the immortality and the riches and stuff. I think his thing was he was trying to actually get an actual bullet train to get through to Kunlun, and he was actually going to blow it up and stuff. It was kind of weird. This one, it was like, oh, they're trying to get the stuff to get immortality. All right, but same process and stuff. But I thought that was interesting that's what that big hole was for. I was like, oh, they're trying to get the Kunlun. All right, I actually like this. This is actually pretty interesting. Now, is season 2 of Iron Fist going to allow them to give us the Kunlun we wanted? I don't know.
That in Iron Fist, low-key, they're going to finally give him his mask. They're going to finally really allow him to really blossom. I just worry that we're just going to have nothing but Danny. Danny, to me, just doesn't do well on his own, period. Like, as the way they play his character from the first season, for around him, elevating him, which is sad to say, but it's true. Like, it's I want to see just him.
Yeah, I mean, they said season 2 was basically going to be dealing with him, Colleen, and Misty, and I'm thinking it's going to set up the whole Daughters of the Dragon thing, because that's, I mean, look. Missy lost that arm. I thought she was gonna lose that arm in fucking Luke Cage when Diamondback shot her, and I was like, she gonna lose that arm, and I'm like, oh, she didn't lose the arm. And I was like, oh, arm, and in Defenders, and I see Homeboy with the freaking sword, and I was like, oh, she gonna lose that arm, and then bam, she loses the arm, and then we get the line drop. Like, yeah, Danny knows somebody that has, cybernetics and stuff, and get you back on your feet. And I'm like, oh shit, we get Daughters of the Dragon. Yes, I need that. So.
All right, hold on one sec. So Mike trying to come in, so we got to kind of limit the Defenders.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I think I did that spoil, and he's like, oh, well, let me get out.
So yeah, he came in and he was like, nope.
Yeah, he heard Daughters of the Dragon and was like, oh nope, I'm out. Nope.
Yeah, he.
So, Adamant, I'm done spoiling stuff. So yeah, Adamant, I'm done. No spoilers.
Yeah, we'll talk about something totally different. What are we gonna talk about? We can talk about this whole stupid YouTube change that has been sweeping the city.
Yeah.
Monetization. Yeah. What's going on, Mike?
Hey, how's it going, y'all?
Chilling, bro.
Yeah, pretty good, man. How you doing?
What you up to?
Nothing much. I literally just finished a video that I just posted right now. And that's it, man. I woke up kind of late. At least you can tell I'm really tired.
Dude, I can tell, man. Your eyes look like you're weak, bro. Looks like you got no sleep.
Yeah, man. It was a long day last night. Yo, Anthony, how you doing, man? Long time, bud.
Chilling, bro. Chilling. How you been?
Good, man. Good.
Actions to Defenders been freaking awesome, man.
Yeah, didn't want to deter Michael from joining in. I'm pretty sure he heard like this small spoil and was like, nope, not joining. Nope.
I watched it and I just heard I heard Misty Night, and then I just heard just general talk, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna be cautious. I don't want to ruin the flow.
You did a good job because I spoiled the shit out of something. So
facts. Okay, good. Yes. It's like when parents walk into a room and you just check and see if you're sleeping. If they're one of those.
Yeah, basically. That's why I was like, yeah, you did a good job because I was spoiled the shit out of it. And you've been like, God damn it, man, why?
Yeah, man. Bro, I've been trying hard to stay away from every single spoiler as possible. Game of Thrones, those damn got spoiled in Spain.
Well, I'm like this. I feel bad for Game of Thrones folks because, like, if you're on Twitter, especially, you have to kind of like get hip to muting certain names and stuff on there because it's like, look, I don't care for spoilers because I'm gonna watch it anyway. That doesn't fucking matter to me. It really doesn't. They could have spoiled stuff about Misty Night before I watched it, and I still would have watched it because I'm all about, hey, what led up to this? What built up to this? I don't care. You could told me Superman dies and Batman v Superman like the year before the movie came out. I still would have watched it because I'm all about the journey and how did we get there. So it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
But I know some people don't think that way. So it's like I learned how to just mute stuff if I really care about spoilers, so that way it doesn't pop up on my timeline. But some people on Twitter aren't hip to doing that. So like last night I literally tweeted out a spoiler like. Actually, I didn't even tweet the spoiler. I was very cryptic with it. I literally said, I'm just gonna say, I said literally 2 words, and I hashtag Defenders, and somebody was like, "Man, gee, spoiler much?" I'm like, dude, that is the most cryptic fucking tweet ever, and it didn't even really spoil anything. I mean, the fact that if you figured it out, okay, kudos to you. You could have just not said anything. I'm just saying, But again, some people don't know how to just mute the Defenders hashtag, mute Iron Fist, mute Luke Cage, mute the Defenders hashtag, and you be good. That's all you gotta do. Just mute it.
I mean, to be fair though, I think it's easier to mute like something like DC related or rumor related or like, versus Game of Thrones. Like Game of Thrones is just everywhere.
It's hard. It is hard.
It's everywhere.
Especially if you're on Facebook, oh, you're screwed.
Yeah.
Because nobody essentially likes the spoilers on Facebook. That's the worst. I feel bad for folks that got spoiled about it on Facebook. I was like, man, that people are assholes out here. But I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, speaking of, so Game of Thrones is coming up tomorrow. You guys, everybody excited for it? I know CJ, you're not caught up with it yet, but I know Mike. I know you're pretty excited, right?
For Game of Thrones? Yeah, man.
Yeah,
I'm
tomorrow.
not like I'm not like thinking like every day, oh, Game of Thrones, but like I'm like, oh, it's Sunday, Game of Thrones is gonna be on. I've heard from friends it's a hype ass episode, so I'm looking forward to checking it out. This will be good. But I'm the spoiler tip. I haven't seen any spoilers. I know someone tried hitting me up in the comments section. Not comment section. Usually people are really cool about that. Someone tweeted at me.
Oh, that's the worst.
No, yeah, someone tweeted at me a series of photos, and I only saw the first one, and the first one just had the Night King. So all I know is the Night King's gonna be. Yeah, that's all I know. But I assumed he was gonna.
That's not much of a. That's not much of a spoiler. I mean, it's not even like they're in the north, so you would assume that the Night King would show up eventually.
Yeah.
You know, they're trying to get a White Walker. You know, so like. But I'm not gonna say anything else because I'll spoil something. I don't want to say anything.
Yeah.
Because I
can definitely confirm. Yeah.
Not really. I mean, I try to do reactions like for like trailers because I'm not really like trying to like get a copyright strike or anything like that because and I hate editing. I'm such a lazy guy and I hate editing. So like I just like try to do my reviews and just post them airs, so those reactions. And I always love watching other people react because I'm like the worst reactor ever because I always try to stay as quiet as I can so that I could hear the dialogue thing. Literally in Game of Thrones, if you miss one line of dialogue, you're gonna so much backlash in the comments. Make sure I pay attention to every single thing.
Oh my gosh! I almost had like a epic war about that last episode.
Oh yeah, about the dragon and John.
Yeah, I was like, you guys, I haven't even posted like my second half of my reaction yet, and people were like, "Ooh, why don't y'all know this?" I had to literally make a response video, and I normally never do that, but it just caught me on a bad night, and so I just went in on that.
This is why we don't do reaction videos because I think one, me, D, and Eris would have no fucking patience for doing reactions, and two, I'd rather just do like a Periscope or something afterwards and stuff. No videos of that shit because again, I'm lazy as shit, and I'm like, I don't feel like putting a video on video, and all this. Nah, bump that. Just. You know what? Honestly, I get better traction just tweeting my reaction to something versus just doing a video because it's just I don't care. No, and it's only just now that we're starting to like do videos on our YouTube channel anyway. So it's like, I mean, because our podcast automatically gets uploaded onto YouTube anyway. But like, since we started doing San Diego Comic-Con, I was like, I might as well just put up videos and stuff up on there anyway. Might as well. Why not? And stuff. So I don't know. I'm slowly jumping in on that and stuff. It's just I'm lazy as shit and stuff on that end. So it's like,
yeah, man. Whatever. Like I still need to do my Defenders reaction. I only got episodes 1 to 3, so I need to get to the last 5. Oh man. Yo, I don't want to talk Iron Fist because I finally finished that show.
Man, we ain't got to talk about that crap.
Listen. I rewatched that show again. I literally rewatched that show leading up to the event to Defenders. Why did I say Defenders? Defenders. And like I was just sitting back, and I'm like, I still maintain. I was like, it had some good ideas, but it's just that execution was just garbage.
I wasted 13 hours.
And I say this to somebody
like you could literally skip Iron Fist and not watch it, and then you'll be caught up on Defenders. You really don't need to watch it.
Look. Defenders should have been the show that introduced Danny because, like I said, everything about Defenders it worked in Danny's favor. It worked in Danny's favor. So I'm like, yeah, you could have just thrown him in Defenders, and we don't need a backstory on him. We just know, oh, he's this dude. He's rich. He owns a company, and he's using his resources to help out this situation. Okay, cool, fine, cool. That's all you really need. But just watching season 1, it was just like, yo, it was a slog and a half. Like, I literally was fast forwarding stuff, which I rarely do. I mean, I rewatched Luke Cage leading up to Defenders, and I was like watching all 13 episodes. I know people say I had issues, but I can still watch that. you know. But
Yeah.
yeah, Iron Fist is just a trudge. To like, I don't have it in me to even inkling to even want to watch it on a lazy Sunday or so. I'm just like, nah, I don't care. Don't care for
Yeah.
it at all.
But this is the thing about
Whatsoever.
this Defenders that I'll say though, like this show, I would sit there and watch some episodes again on this. Like I would legit go back and like look at some stuff again, and I would be excited for it. Kind of like how I feel about like Daredevil season 2. Like there were certain parts I was like, man, I really want to see this episode again. I really want to see this moments of dialogue. It was I think the thing about Defenders is I love the dialogue. I love what they said, what they brought to each other's characters. But without spoiling anything, I know you ain't seen it yet, Michael. But so far, what do you think about it?
So Sam, were you at the panel when they showed the first episode?
Yeah, we were there. We were all there. Yeah.
We were all there.
I was mega jealous of Sam when he told me some of the stuff from episode 1, and I was like, don't say anything. Just don't tell me anything else. I'm just gonna wait. All right.
So also just quickly, I finished Iron Fist. I think I'm in the minority. I didn't absolutely hate it. I can acknowledge there's some pretty bad parts, and as a whole, it wasn't the greatest. But I actually kind of liked it a little. But the Defenders, I wasn't the biggest fan of episode 1. I thought it was just fine. I thought it was all right. It was very much just like exposition and just setting up because they did have a lot to fill in, right? We had Luke Cage. We had a lot of stuff with Luke Cage had to get settled out to get him back into the just the world again. And all the other side small characters. So that episode was pretty much just to lay down the groundwork. So I thought it was just fine, all right. But afterwards, episode 2 and 3, they really do pick up.
Yeah.
As to see these characters slowly coming together as their paths start to converge from their side characters and plots to 2 of the Defenders and bleeding up. I thought it was really cool. And now I'm starting episode 4 right after I get off of this. So I think we'll be seeing them together.
Quick question: did you enjoy the fighting at the end of season 3, especially with Danny?
Episode 3?
Yeah, episode 3.
Oh yeah. It was just me. Did it get a little better?
Yeah.
It got a lot better.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It got a lot better.
They improved it a bit. Is this just me, or I don't know if this just annoys me, but I said this in my episode 1 review reaction. It was just to me, it was so obnoxious every time the Defenders kept coming on screen. They would have their aesthetic and filter.
Yeah, I know what you exactly. Well, it's yellow for Luke Cage. It's red for Daredevil, and then it's purple for Jessica Jones.
That shit got so annoying.
Are you talking about the first episode?
The first episode was the most apparent. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that they do that honestly for those people that like us that have not like us that have not seen the other shows. Like say if they're speaking, you watch Defenders for the first time. I don't know who this guy is. I don't know who that is, but this seems interesting. I think to me that the season 1 of Defenders was the perfect platform for all the other shows. It gave you just enough to be like, okay, I want to know what happened here. Specifically with Daredevil and Jessica Jones. I think that they did a really good job platforming that. But I think it was more so apparent, like you said in the first episode, like those colors. But I mean, hands down, like the fight scene in episode 3 was way better than anything that they did in Iron Fist to me. I don't know. It was like they got the choreographer person from Into the Badlands to do that giant. Or at least the choreographer for Daredevil.
But no, the fight scene in episode 3 was dope, man. Like, it was so awesome when Elektra pops up, and then Matt just kind of
oh my god,
realizes. It's by the way, it's so awesome to see Charlie Cox's Daredevil, man. He is so great. Like instantly when you see Daredevil just fighting in the first, it was episode 2, the intro of episode 2, when you see him just fighting, and the way they directed that, it's just so well done. They know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, it's pretty epic.
The transitions too. The transition whenever they'd be like going like from whenever they switch to a different character, it goes like from the subway to like.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Anthony, did you finish Defenders yet?
Yeah. I just finished it yesterday, like afternoon. I was like, I was waiting because I live in the East Coast, and I was like, it didn't drop at 12 p.m. And I was like, oh, forget it, I'm going back to sleep. I'm reviewing in the morning, and then I binge watched it. I wasn't sure if I was gonna do review the entire season, so I just like entire season because I was like, I was like, the pacing was really slow. Like, I'll just like see how this, you know, after episode 8, you know. So I just
Yeah.
reviewed it that way.
Yeah, it was really epic when they did that. But anywho, well, this everybody that doesn't know, we have, like I said, like this epic group chat, and I'll try to show you guys in some kind of way. I don't know how I'm gonna do this. Let's see if I can do it. The present page. Present. What the heck is it? There it is. Okay, application. There you go. So what we do, you guys, we just totally just rant. Like, we talk about a lot of different things, movie related, TV related, and just in life in general. And the PTG or PTJ is all about the pod and tubers. Now, what I mean by pod is the podcasters like Three Black Geeks, you know, YouTubers like Najer, Anthony, you know, Chris with the normies, and we just kind of rant and talk. And one of the things that we want to make sure we consistently try to do is collaborate and work on future projects. One of the projects we're talking about doing is maybe doing something for Monday or Sunday for Game of Thrones episode 6, which I know for a fact is a great episode. I'm not gonna say why I know or who I know from, but it is a really great episode, and it's something that you cannot miss if you are even a Game of Thrones fan. But what we're gonna try to do more consistently is try to have these interesting discussions. And we want you guys to leave us, you know, topics that we can talk about, we can riff about, and we can also put that on our closed group page as well to talk about different things and items. And I just want to make sure you guys know who these awesome YouTubers and people are. Like, you can go to the description bar below, check out all their podcasts, check out all the channels. All of them are individually different, but all of them individually are great. We're like the Suicide Squad / Defenders in so many different ways for the YouTube game. We've also been collaborating with other people like Akasan and like other people like the Normies. There are really big channels that are really doing really well, really successful, but are also humble enough, you know, to collaborate with us and talk with us about different things. But we are all people. And one of the things that I wanted to bring up in this meetup is the fact that demonetization for YouTube videos is very apparent on the horizon right now. It's affecting a lot of different people, where essentially if you have a video you created, you can normally get monetization if you have creative rights over it, or if it's not, you know, copywritten. Sometimes you can kind of get over it, but a lot of times you can't. But now there's another stipulation where if they choose your video to be unsuitable from language or theme or whatever parameters they put up, then they can remove it, the accessibility of it being modernized. The modernization process through ads is how, you know, YouTubers get paid. This is how people actually make a living. And a lot of us, we've been actually getting hit with that. And we've been trying to kind of fight it, but we want to make sure you guys know that if things start to shift or change in the way that we do our videos or do our channels, we want to make sure you guys know that this is a reality for us, and this is heavily affecting all of us. I've had a chat with Anthony. I've had a chat with Michael. I've had a chat with other different people on what I would recommend doing. But basically, I had 70 videos that were affected by it, and all 70 could not be modernized at all. They couldn't get any money. They couldn't get anything back from receiving on all the work that we had potentially done. And it's all based on a parameter that YouTube set up. And I think that it was a strategic thing. But I want to bring that up so you guys know. And at the same time, I want these awesome gentlemen to be able to talk about it if they want to as well.
I mean, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Chris.
Okay. Yeah. My mic went out for a second. That's why I was like, "What's going on?" Yeah. Personally, it doesn't affect us, but like, what wows me out is people that I know, including you, and even some of the bigger YouTubers like Angry Joe and all them and stuff. To be honest with you, I've had an issue with Google and how they handle a lot of this stuff, specifically with YouTube, because they don't. Because one thing, here's the thing. I've heard YouTube does have a customer service, but the problem is they only have customer service for big time folks. And even then it's very shaky. And I'm looking at this and I'm like, okay, so what was the rationale and reasoning for this? And I understood on the surface the reasoning for this was because of the whole white supremacists and, those people and stuff, which I get. Hey, fuck them. That I get that. The problem is, it's like I feel YouTube is doing all this garbage because they're trying to push people onto YouTube Red. I really feel that's what they're doing. and it's not working because from what I'm hearing with YouTube Red, they got good content there, but it's not really anything that's gonna make people want to just leap over there and pay subscription to YouTube Red.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you guys are trying to be the like Hulu and all of them, but you don't necessarily have the actual good content to actually be on that level. So when I see them and they're doing this thing with this ad stuff, it's like it's bothering me because I'm like, well, hold on. You guys are doing all this and stuff, but you don't have a system to really differentiate between, like with you, Sam, if we're going to use you as an example, I don't feel there's anything that you do that's necessarily against what they're taking ad revenue for, because it's not like you're doing anything wrong. You're not saying anything derogatory. You're not cussing or anything as far as I know. You know, at least from videos I've seen, you don't do any of that. So even if on the surface level they're talking about cussing, I'm like, but you don't even cuss in your videos, so what's the problem? I don't get this. Like, what is good content? What is, I don't know, and that's the problem. They don't have a legit, like, and nothing's perfect. Let's get that out the way. But you don't have an actual perfect system in place. Hell, you can't even get your regular shit in order, but you're gonna do this. It's like, come on, like your content ID system is garbage, but you roll this out. Like you can't even fix the one thing that, like we're getting hit with content IDs, and it's a podcast. You know, and it's like, it's just 30 seconds of a music before we go into our podcast, but it's content ID, so any ads that get, like, I don't care personally, because it's not like I'm monetizing the videos, but it's just annoying to me and stuff, and, like, there's a reason why I stopped, like, showing streams of games and putting them and archiving them on our YouTube channel, because I did Lego Star Wars, and for some reason I got hit with so many content IDs from Lucas and Disney, and I'm like, it's the music in the game. I didn't put the music in there. It's the music from the game. Like, why are you hitting me from this? This doesn't make any sense. So it's like, you're not fixing that, but then you're going to do this whole thing with ad revenue. It doesn't make any sense. It's stupid. The whole process is dumb.
Yeah, and I mean, to even piggyback on that whole YouTube Red thing, like it pushes us regular YouTubers that want to give our, you know, people that are subscribed to us an opportunity, if they want to, you know, they can take advantage of the things we have and the content we have, but they do it for free. They subscribe to us for free. To us, like, okay, now we have to shift the dynamic. Say, okay, every person that subscribes has to pay. You know, that's one thing doing like the Patreon and you let people choose. But it's another thing you backing them into a corner that doing it you want to work towards. Like now you're forced into this red situation. And I for one, if I did one, it'd be maybe a third-party channel that I would create specifically with the films or short films I create to do that. I would never sit there and put my normal content like, oh, I'm gonna react to a trailer, I'm gonna actually pay for it. Well, that doesn't make sense. So I completely agree what Chris said. It's messed up. But anybody else want to talk about it? I know you probably got a lot, Mike.
Yeah, man, YouTube's bugging, B. That's all I'm gonna say. No, exactly. It's been a problem. YouTube in general has been going, I don't want to say downhill, but there's been issues for content creators for quite some time now. I want to say like 6 months. There's been some serious issues. Ever since the adpocalypse first hit, there was like a decrease in revenue all around, and that was with the whole, you know, PewDiePie and, you know, having to deal with some genuinely bad content that you can't have on the internet. You don't want that monetized. More recently though, it's the demonetization. You guys have seen with these yellow markers, and it's really affecting just all content creators from the top to the bottom, you know?
Yeah.
Because this is some people, they make their whole living off of demonetization, right? I mean, off just YouTube monetization, or they make some of their revenue from that. So it's broken, as you said. It's clearly broken. I freaking put up my Defenders review, not even a reaction, just a straight up review, and it got demonetized automatically. So it's clearly it doesn't work. Bro, I was talking to my camera, B. I was talking to my camera, and I just did like a 5-minute review. Didn't cuss. I didn't say nothing. I just gave my review of the show, and I got demonetized. Like, there's clearly just an algorithm that they've put in place that just demonetizes things right away, and it's clearly not working.
Yeah, I can definitely agree. I put up my episode 8 TV review, and you can look right here, and I can prove it to you. Like they are, I requested to see if they can review manually. You can always do a request to review manually, and they could take like up to a week. They might decline it. but essentially there's no revenue that can be made off of, you know, this episode. Even if I cared, it's like from the simple fact that they're like assessing whether or not, you know, what I have up here. And it's weird to me because it doesn't make sense, because I didn't make this any different than any of the other reviews. Only thing I changed was just the picture. But you can see this little yellow mark, right? So I really don't know what to tell you guys, but it's real. Like, even like I did like a reaction without any audio to his song, and it's deemed unsuitable. But the only thing I'm doing is just like, oh wow, that's awesome, oh great rhythms or whatever. So
it's not
yeah,
it's not you at all, man. It's they have something wrong going on.
But what is unsuitable? But my thing is, what is unsuitable? That's my problem. It's like, what is deemed unsuitable? Like, I don't get this. They don't have any lines on what is unsuitable. Is there a rule thing? Give us rules.
Yo, and it's so dumb too, because when you try and submit it, it says, oh, you have to have 1,000 views on the video in the last 7 days. One, not all your videos are going to be like that. There's just some videos that don't get 1,000 right away. Secondly,
exactly.
when I do, you know, submit it, they'll still decline it sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But then they won't decline other videos where it's the same exact thing. It's so arbitrary. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Oh my god, so stupid.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things, like I said, YouTube fans, we just want to let you guys know that, I mean, we push content to you guys because we love what we do, and we love giving you content, and we love the content that we're talking about. But these are the struggles that we actually have to go through and deal with regularly. And I mean, as much as we give to YouTube, YouTube allows us to make semblances of money through the monetization process, but they are never really there to kind of hold us up in the event of something happening. Like if hypothetically speaking, we get hit like that whole, you know, that strike situation where, like, you know what I'm saying, Mike got hit with 2 strikes, I got hit with 2 strikes, you know, out of nowhere, and it's like, okay, we about to lose our channel. It's like we had no idea. There's no cushion there. There's nobody to talk to say, okay, I didn't do this. What do I need to do? We had to write the letters ourselves. We had to talk to the people ourselves. Yeah. We had to talk to the studios ourselves and maybe deal with it. And even with like certain other YouTubers that have this ability of being able to react to stuff or say stuff with content, and they get, you know, revenue through it, and we don't have those kind of connections. It's like the movie business, but yeah, we don't have a petitioner on our behalf, like telling us, okay, this is what you can do, this is what you can't do, this is what the resources you have. I know, have you been dealing with any of these kind of situations as well?
Pardon?
Did you ask me?
Yeah. Have you been dealing with the demonetization as well?
Not on my channel. Well, like I said earlier, I would just do reviews, which is weird for you. Why you got that? And this is me just being honest. Maybe because I don't have like a large fan base like you guys do, you know. Because I haven't gotten anything like that. All in my channel, everything's just been normal. But I have gotten like kind of like issues with the, you know, whole thing about that. You know, I just hate that that's a thing that people have to go through, because it sucks. You know, there's a lot of YouTubers that, you know, do YouTube full time, and that's what they, you know, earn, and it just sucks. And you know, like you said, Mike, the YouTube, you know, system is just broken, and it's just not to anyone. You know, we always talk about like fair use, but like it's always something on YouTube. You know, something always trying to content creators like lack creativity, you know, and it sucks. So it not doing anything like that.
Yeah.
I mean, for you, Sam, what did you get hit with the strikes for? Because for you to get 1 strike, 2 strikes, I'm like, was it something major or was it just something?
Oh no, it was pretty big. No, not on Sam's end.
Yeah, like on Mike's end, it was like, it was a preacher, right, Mike? Randomly,
yeah,
like
preacher caught me.
This one group, I forget the name of the group that we were literally petitioning against.
It was like,
and they just were like, oh,
yeah.
It I don't know. It was just some group or organization that they basically were like, well, you guys don't own this. You guys have to do this. And the only way you can maybe get it off, you have to call us in. And then when they tried to call in through that week, they conveniently were offline.
That was like the worst, man. Oh my gosh.
What's up, Joe? Nah, I ain't said Elgato up yet. But
Yo, yeah, that was so
but for
bad, man. I
me,
hated that. Like,
yeah, I was literally going up and making videos just to petition against that whole company. And it's funny because now they're not making any waves, but it's like now you got this situation kind of coming up. And it's funny because Anthony is not affected. Neither is Jarrell. Jarrell isn't affected either. And I'm trying to figure out how is that possible if you could implement something. So that means you're targeting YouTubers that have a lot, and at the same exact time, you're targeting people based off of no pretenses at all.
It feels
Because
like
I've seen another YouTuber that he only had like 500 subs, and the same thing happened.
it's one of the situations where, unfortunately, and it's a very shitty practice. Most companies just don't want to pay their people, and how do you not pay your people? You implement something like this, and then it's like, oh, well, can't pay our people now because of this little bug here. And it's like, well, dude, you're a company. You have to pay your people. Sorry, it's what it is. You know, but if they're coming at the bigger people, it's like, I'm waiting for another website to come up that's actually going to be better than YouTube. That's all it's going to take.
yeah, man, they're really starting to push it, especially with like this demonetization thing. Like, it's just another thing. Like, sooner or later, people are gonna bounce, man, because it's just unmotivating for some content creators, and it just.
That's why Patreon is a thing now. I mean, Patreon is starting to become a thing now for people, and that does put the power in the people that actually watches your content's hands now, because now it's like, okay, Patreon does keep you honest. You know, it gives you motivation, like, all right, I'm going to put out the best content that I could possibly put out so that more people can actually watch it and pay if they want to, whether it's $1 or $5, you know, it's something and stuff, because clearly YouTube doesn't want to do it. I mean, I don't know if you guys follow Channel Awesome and stuff, but they've gone through the same thing because they went through the same thing with YouTube. They went on Blip TV, and then Blip TV ended up shutting down, and then they had to go back to YouTube, but then they do stuff through Patreon now, and that's how they basically subsidize the money that they make and stuff now through Patreon, because it's just ultimately YouTube is just being stupid and dumb with their monetizations practices and these demonetization. It's basically messing them up now. So it's like, yeah, YouTube is basically pushing people's backs against the wall. And like I said, all it's going to take is another person, another company to come in there and be like, hey guys, we're better than YouTube, and we can offer a lot more than what YouTube's doing. And I guarantee YouTube is all of a sudden going to change their tune up, and they're going to be all like, hey guys, don't leave YouTube. We can do this now. And it's like, no, it's too late, because you basically try to push people on YouTube Red, and nobody gives a shit about YouTube Red. I'm sorry, but like, even if we had a lot of subscribers to our thing, I gotta be honest with you, I don't feel anybody's gonna want to pay, I think, was it $4.99, $9.99 a month for YouTube Red to see us. I'm sorry, they're not. I just know people are not going to do that. We can have the best content in the world, but nobody's going to want to pay $9.99 a month for YouTube Red just to see us. I think that's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, and I think that even like you said, like if somebody else came in, like say hypothetically speaking, like Vimeo, they were just like, okay, look, we're gonna open ourselves up a lot better. You can, instead of having to work with Google Hangouts, we're gonna give you operations with Skype, or we're gonna give you operations you create any kind of way you want to do your live streams. We're gonna allow you to be able to partner with other YouTubers simultaneously with your video collaboratively. We can have it so when you create a movie, we can put a password there. You can make money off your movie on us. Like Vimeo could easily do that. Like they really could do that. Daily Motion could do something like that. There's a lot of other sources out there that could easily do that. It's just YouTube has cornered the market because YouTube is Google. Google is YouTube. Google owns everything, even our Androids. You know what I'm saying? It's the same exact thing. You have to have a Gmail account for almost everything at this point. So it sucks that all the power of YouTube is through Google, but Google is not going to help other than the fact that, okay, our Google analytical processes are shown, but sometimes those are even wrong. Because there was one thing that happened, and I talked to Michael about it, is that in the event that you do a live stream, like we're doing a live stream right now, and the YouTubers that you do have, if they have not subscribed and have to click the little bell, is if they haven't visited you in over, I think it's like 3 weeks or a month time, they can be removed as your subscriber. So even though they subscribe, there's an automated thing that'll make them be removed. So a lot of times we do live streams like this, I might lose 50 people.
Yeah.
And it's not because they're like, oh, I hate that one video. They get removed.
Which again, I get the system that they're implementing because they're trying to get rid of spam accounts, because there are spam YouTube accounts that are just created for spam purposes. I get that. But the problem is your system for doing that is dumb, because if you got a person that's subscribed to, like, say 50 channels, right? They're not going to always see it all in that week, or maybe it might be 3 weeks at a time before they watch any new videos from those channels, because that's a lot of channels to kind of sift through and see all the materials for.
Exactly.
It's dumb to even take somebody away from that because, oh, they didn't look at your channel for 3 weeks, so get them out of here. It's like, really? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know,
Yeah,
man.
you make a lot of content. Oh, go ahead. What are you saying, Michael?
Yeah, like the one upside, I guess, or the silver lining, I would say, with this whole demonetization and YouTube acting like some punks, would be that it pushes content creators to manage themselves and their finances like a little bit better, make more stable sources of income aside from YouTube. You know, like setting up Patreon, like making merchandise. I think that's the only thing that would be the plus.
Can't rest on your laurels, essentially. That's all it really is.
Exactly, but the only downside of that is you're potentially harming, you know, your relationship with your audience, or, you know, the type of your schedule and the type of content you put out, you know? Because then, like, for example, what if I start, like, what I'm planning to do is, like, if I put up my Patreon and I put some shows exclusively on there, or the amount of reactions, for example, that a lot of people do like my content for, I've reduced it, what you'll see on my YouTube page, and more of it is going to be on Patreon, you know? Some people might not be cool with that. And I feel like YouTube is kind of pushing me into that kind of corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
and he doesn't have a choice. It's not because he's doing it to be a jerk. It's like he has no choice but to maneuver a different kind of way. And even like with the reactions, like I don't like kind of like what Chris says, like I got a whole wife, I got a whole marriage, I got a whole full-time job. Like I can't be editing 24/7. And like some of the edits, like sometimes I'll do like an edit for like 5 minutes and I'll crop it up and I'll still get hit with something. So it's like it got to a point I had to change the process of how I even post reactions. Like instead of posting them on YouTube, I'm posting them somewhere else so people can go to that link. And it's like I would never do that, but I don't have the time to go back and redo something 4 times instead of just like, okay, it's here, go to it. And it's crazy.
Yeah. Because like on Patreon,
what I'm going to end up having to do. Exactly. Like, so
I mean,
it's an easier result.
I seen one YouTuber. Yeah. I mean, I seen one YouTuber. He was making money off of YouTube, but then, and he's the type of person that he's putting content out consistently anyway. He does a lot of ruminations on TV shows like Star Trek and stuff, and he does like video game lore runs and stuff. And the way he did it was he's on Twitch. Twitch is actually way more reasonable than YouTube in terms of getting monetization and all that stuff, because Twitch is like, hey, look, the only thing that they will edit out is if you're putting up legit copyright stuff. Like you can't play any sort of copyrighted music unless it's part of said game. Like a lot of folks write strikes on YouTube for Grand Theft Auto stuff, but Twitch never did it. Because Twitch was like, well, we don't care. It's part of the game. So, what can we do? We can't, we're not going to edit that out. It's part of the game. Keep it the way it is. But YouTube was just like, nope, it's copyright. And I'm like, dude, it's part of the damn game. Like, I can't help if I'm playing GTA 5 and it's just like, oh, they're playing Dr. Dre. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
What do you want me to do?
Yeah.
So,
I was actually thinking about doing Twitch as well. I don't know if any of you guys do Rift.tv. And matter of fact, Anthony, I'd recommend you doing that, dude, because with Rift TV, basically you collaborating with Netflix and VRV. VRV is a combination of Crunchyroll, Funimation, and other anime-centric things. And essentially, if you already subscribe to VRV or you already have a subscription to Netflix, you just watch it like you normally would on your computer, and what it'll do, it'll create a mirror of the reaction for your YouTube channel and for Twitch at the same exact time. And I know that Akasan does it. I know that hello? I know that Tyrone Magnus does it. So I think that was something to be a really good avenue for you. What's up, Mo? Man, this dude, I can't hear him. Hello?
What's up, God? What's up?
Oh, what's up, Mo?
Wish I had, bro.
Oh, Mo's dub stepping, you guys.
Are we on?
Yes, dude. We've been on for like an hour and a half. Mo, we've been on for an hour and a half, bro.
Dad, I'm live streaming. I'm live streaming now. I'm live streaming.
This one. Snapchat.
I don't know.
The black one.
Anywho, I'm gonna keep talking because there's a lot of distractions.
Wow, it's still on. Now,
Mo,
Like
we
a
can't hear you,
little
bro.
so to meet up and now have.
What you say? Mo. Oh my God. Mo? Mo?
Don't come in here with that.
Hello? Mo?
I bought it from the store and I was juggling all this and it dropped around.
Oh wait, is that CJ?
No, drop it here.
Okay, I don't know what's going on now. Anyway, you guys don't know, Guitar Mo, he is part of Earth 2 Commentaries, you guys on YouTube channel. He's also a part of the Pod of Two Journals. I don't know who I'm gonna mute. Yeah, somebody had to take a fade, I'm sorry. Anyway. He's a part of the Earth 2 Comicast. I think his screen is either frozen or I don't know what's going on, but he's out and about as well, just like CJ is. And he wanted to come in and kind of chat it up with you guys, but I just want you guys to show Earth 2 Comicast some love, as well as Failwell34, if you guys don't know. Congratulations to Failwell. I think you're at 35,000, bro.
Yeah, yo, thank you, Sam, bro. Appreciate that, man.
Yeah, man. You're like moving on up.
Yo, I see you, bro. You just 31K, Sam.
Okay?
I see you.
Man, I've been sitting at 31 for a hot minute, bro. I'm trying to get to that 32. So
Bro, I've been
like
chilling
once
at
we hit
34
that
for a hot
32,
minute, bro.
Dude, ever since those changes to YouTube, it's been rough.
It's been tough times. It's been tough times.
Trying to climb even 1,000. And Anthony's actually been growing really well as well. Like Anthony actually been growing on Twitter and on YouTube. So congrats to you too, bro.
Thanks, man. No, you guys are just, always putting out good content too. And I think it was your birthday last week, right, Mike?
Yeah, it was like 2-ish weeks ago, something like that. The 4th.
Yeah, you're right. So I was like, I did wish you happy birthday the other day. But yeah, always,
Thanks, bro.
trying to create good content. Yeah, so yeah, and I want to say more, but I'm gonna leave it alone because I want to talk Game of Thrones bad, but I'm gonna leave it alone because I know for a fact Anthony's seen.
If y'all two seen, I actually have to bounce just now. Still, I gotta get on the Defenders wave.
No, you good, bro. Because we're probably gonna get ready to dip set in just a little bit. Because I really just wanted to kind of riff with you guys and chat it up.
For real,
bro. Who the Pod and Tube genres are, and the fact that we do have a group page. We got a lot of content coming for you guys. So we just want to let you guys know. I wanted to invite these guys out. Maybe tomorrow, if not Monday, we're gonna have a Game of Thrones discussion, which is gonna be pretty epic about episode 6. Either way. So yeah, that's all I got, man. So
yeah, yo, thanks.
Definitely check out all these awesome tubers and podcasters below.
Hey, yo, thanks everyone for having me, Sam. Thank you as always, fam.
Oh yeah, bro. Sure, man. And
Boycott
Anthony,
YouTube.
always a pleasure. Shoot, man, I can't say it in full conscience, but yeah, Anthony, thanks for showing up, bro.
Oh, thank you, Sam. I appreciate it. Yeah, sorry well, Crosby, but you guys already know I love the guy in this YouTube space. But I'm always honored to be in one of these discussions. It's always fun. It's always entertaining, and it's real soon.
It's always crazy. It's always crazy. But we gotta go, you guys, and we'll talk to you guys later. Peace.